How do you factor? Well, here's how you factor, all right? Over here, it's the reverse of FOIL, meaning what times what makes x squared? Well, x times x. Sweet. What times what makes 20 that added together makes 9? For example, what times what makes 20? Well, 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. All these combinations multiply to make 20, but only one of them adds together to make 9. And that is, yes, 4 times 5. So, your answer is plus 4 plus 5. X plus 4, x plus 5. To check, right, you know that you made x squared, you know that you made 20, but the question is, did you make 9? Well, let's see. We do the outer and the inner in FOIL. Outer is 5x. Inner is 4x. 4x plus 5x is 9x. Ding, 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 ding. There is your answer. You convinced yourself that you made 9x, so you've got the answer. So the same thing here. X times x is x squared. This time, what times what makes 20 that added together makes negative 9? Well, it's the same thing, but instead of positive 4, positive 5, it's got to be negative 4, negative 5, because negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9, right?
Right.
There you go. Thank you for that. Over here, what times what makes x squared would be x times x. What times what makes negative 40? Well, 1 times negative 40, negative 1 times 40. 2 times negative 20, negative 2 times 20. 4 times negative 10, negative 4 times 10. 5 times negative 8, negative 5 times 8. All of those combinations multiply to make negative 40, but only one adds together to make a positive 3. Which one is that?
Negative 5 and 8.
Negative 5 and 8. Thank you very much for that help. So there's your answer. X minus 5, x plus 8. And it doesn't matter which order you write it in. If you wanted to write x plus 8, x minus 5, that would work as well. And if we're double checking, the outer is plus 8x. The inner is minus 5x. 8 minus 5 is 3x. And ding, 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 ding. It matches. There's your answer. What if I said x squared minus 3x minus 40? Well, it's the same thing. X times x is x squared. And it's still, all of these combinations multiply to make negative 40, but only one of them add together to make a negative 3. And this time it's positive 5 minus 8, plus 5 minus 8. Okay? Over here, sometimes you're going to see something that multiplies, in this case to make 36, and you may notice that it's the same number twice, because it rhymes with twice. X times x is x squared. What times what makes 36 that also added together, the same number, makes negative 12? 6 and 6, right? And would you agree in this case that it's negative 6, right? Negative 6 times negative 6 makes positive 36. Negative 6 plus negative 6 makes negative 12. Bada bing, bada boom. Or you could write this one as x minus 6
Squared.
Thank you, Shepard. Either way. Okay? Over here, I don't have a middle term. How do I factor that? Well, this is a situation where it has to be the same number. So it's going to be, in other words, the square root of 49. Well, what number times itself makes 49? 7 and 7, right? So it's 7 and 7, but in this case, one's plus and one's minus. Why is that the case? Well, because you know x times x makes x squared. You know 7 times negative 7 makes negative 49. But here, what's happening, right? The outer is negative 7x. The inner is positive 7x. And when you add them together, it drops out to 0. So you have no middle term. So there you go. Then there's the situation where you have something common to all three terms. Would you agree that there's a 3x inside all of these terms? Well, in other words, this is 3x times x squared plus 3x times 7x plus 3x times 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the 3x. I take out 3x, and here's what I'm going to do. If I take out 3x, and I write it down, what do I have left? I have x squared plus 7x plus 12. Now I'm going to factor this guy. Okay. Bring down the 3x. Two sets of parentheses. What times what makes x squared? X times x. What times what makes 12 that added together makes 7? 4 and 3. Plus 4 plus 3. And there you go. All right. Now, what our class did yesterday was factoring where there isn't something common to all three. And what I taught yesterday was called guess and check, where you pretty much have to guess. Well, first of all, what times what makes 6? It's either going to be 6 times 1 or 3 times 2. It's one of those combinations. Then you also have to figure out what times what makes 10. It's either 10 times 1, 1 times 10, 5 times 2, or 2 times 5. All of those combinations make 10 when you multiply. And these make 6 when you multiply. Now we have to find the combination that all together makes 19 in the middle. So I say guess and check, which means what times what makes 6. I'm going to start with 3x times 2x. Okay. What times what makes 10? Well, we might guess, let's say we just guessed 10 and 1. Plus 10 plus 1. Now we know we made 6x squared, we know we made 10. But the question is, did we make 19 in the middle? Let's see, the outer and the inner. 3x times 1 is 3x. 10 times 2 is 20x. 20 plus 3 is 23x. Oh, that didn't work. So let's try again. Instead of 10 and 1, let's try 5 and 2. When I say 5 and 2, by the way, this is not going to work because here's a promise. See how 2 goes into both 2 and 2, right? You're never going to have something common in your factors. It's never going to happen, okay? So I'm going to do 2 and 5. All right, we know we made 6, we know we made 10. Did we make 19? Let's see. 3 times 5 is 15x. 2 times 2 is 4x. 4x plus 15x is 19x. Woohoo! Ding, 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 ding. That's my answer. Now, interestingly enough, I learned yesterday a new way to do this that you might all like. All of you sitting here. If you like this way, please go with it. I want to show you what's called slip and slide. Slip and slide is what I showed you yesterday. You don't have to use it. If you want to turn your brain off for a minute, please do so, okay?
You got it.
If you don't like this method, please don't use it, okay? If you like this method better, use it. If you like this method better, use it. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, so what you do is you slip the 6 over here and multiply it by the 10. And now suddenly you just have x squared plus 19x plus 60. 60, what's that? 6 times 10 is 60. And now we're going to factor just like we did way back in the beginning. What times what makes x squared? X times x. What times what makes 60 that added together makes 19? Well, 15 and 4. 15 plus 4 is 19. 15 times 4 is 60. And now that's factored. But now what you have to do is say, oh, this 6, I'm going to put this over 6 and this over 6. And I have to reduce that. Well, okay. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And now what I have to do is take this guy and slide him back over here. Take this guy and slide him back over here. And what have I got? I've got 2x plus 5 times 3x plus 2, which is exactly my same answer here. Okay? You might consider this confusing. If you do, don't use it. Stick to this. It's fine. I'm going to do one more example with slip and slide. Okay? Over here, I'm going to take 8 times 3. And I will have x squared plus 10x plus 24. And now I'm going to factor. Okay. X and x. What times what makes 24 that added together makes 10? Thank you very much. 6 and 4. Okay. So now, remember this 8? Okay, I'm going to put this over 8 and this over 8 and reduce. Okay. That's going to give me x plus 3/4 and x plus 1/2. And now I slide the 4 back over here and the 2 back over here. And what do I have? I have 4x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. And that's slip and slide. You've been watching the Weiss Math Channel. Dun, 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 dun.